guest who says the Donald gets it. Too bad others in Washington do not. Virginia Republican Congressman Randy Forbes joining me right now. Congressman, yet through Democratic and Republican presidents, we kind of kowtow the same way to the Chinese, don't we?
Well, Neil, there's no question about that. And there's some ground in between where Mr. Trump was talking and maybe where these administrations have been. He is correct, though, in a couple of points, and one of them is the fact that the Chinese really don't understand apologies. To them, it looks like weakness, not strength. The second thing I think we could do is look at the Chinese in the eye and say we're not going to continue to finance your military buildup, which we've done for the last several years. Third thing I think the president could do is shake his hand, be very respectful, look him in the eye, and say we're going to compete with you economically, and we don't plan to come in second place. And I think the United States can do that.
All right, but we're $1 trillion in the hold of them, right? I mean, they hold all this paper, and the fear is that our trade deficit right now at $226 billion plus, and only growing. It's going to get worse. They're going to have to own more of our stuff. We'll be more ad hoc to them. And so beggars can't be choosers, and when you owe, you got to step back. What do you say?
Well, I just totally disagree with that. I think one of the things, Neil, that we're doing is we put our business people on a race around competition with our foreign competitors, but we load them down with more litigation than our competitors have, more regulation than our competitors have, and more taxation than our competitors have. And if they still somehow magically win that race, we walk in and take their prize away from them and share it with everybody, even the people that didn't run in the race. We scratch our head and say, why can't we compete? We need to modify that and change it, but the reality is that we can compete with the Chinese if we just give our business people a level playing ground to do that on.
But I don't think you even have to get that far, right? I mean, China's in the position it's in, right, Congressman, because we buy a lot of their stuff. And I'm not advocating, unlike I think Mr. Trump, what would amount to a trade war if it came to that. But if China were to threaten, look, we're gonna diversify, pull out of Treasury notes and bonds. They were showing a little bit of inkling of that in the latest period. But then we could stop buying a lot less of their stuff, right? I mean, in other words, there could be a quid pro quo here, and that would remind China that you're in the position you're in because of us, not despite us.
And, Neil, it's not just the stuff that we buy from China. It's the information that we give to the Chinese that helps them tremendously in their space program, in their economic development programs.
So why do we always act like scaredy cats with them? Why are we always running with our tail between our legs?
Well, first of all, we've been writing for years that we shouldn't be doing that. One of the areas, for example, is militarily. If you look right now, in just the last several weeks, the Chinese have come out with a new missile capable of destroying our carriers. We don't know if we can stop it. They've announced they're going to have a double-digit increase in their military spending, despite the fact that they've increased by 339% over the last 10 years. And they've just come out with a new stealth aircraft. And what are we doing in response? We're cutting our military spending by $100 billion. We're doing away with the F-22.
So you think they have our number through Republican and Democratic administrations? They just think we're weak.
I think based on the policies that we've shown up to this particular point in time, we've given them every reason to believe that.
Congressman, thank you very much. Great seeing you.
Thank you, Neil.
All right, so if we talk tough with China and then we actually back up the tough talk